Thank you, Jacqueline. Rowan University announced today that after more than a year of testing, all of its drinking water on campus is now lead-free and has met all state and federal safety standards. Now, lead was found in Linden Hall in July of last year, as well as a couple older buildings on campus. I'm standing here out front of the cafeteria in the Student Center at Rowan University, where with the arrival of the fall weather also means the arrival of the flu, something that the Wellness Center here on campus is trying to prevent. And do you believe that vaccinations work? Because there's a big debate over whether or not people believe that vaccinations are the right way to go to help prevent.
I think it strongly depends on the person, because myself, I had an immune deficiency, so I did not have to get the flu shot because it could have made me get the flu quicker than most people, even though it gives you the virus itself.
Parents and students are getting ready to voice their concerns to the school board over the cancellation of a play called And Then There Were None. The original play, which was made back in 1940, contained a racial slur in the original title. Earlier this year, at Cherry Hill High School decided to include the racial and ethnic slurs in the script of Ragtime. Now, while many parents agree with the decision, others say that it is denying a part of our history. Two very strong sides, which will lead to a pretty eventful school board meeting that is going to take place within these doors within the next few minutes. Religion in 2017 is facing a new trend, and not a favorable one. More and more churches are starting to witness less amounts of young people participating in their masses. For the Calvary Hill Church in Glassboro, New Jersey, it's a trend they hope to buck.
Our mission as a church is helping people become fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ. That's why we exist. That's what we feel like God wants us to do, and that's the mission that we actually have.
Masses here at Calvary Hill are very musical in hopes of drawing in a younger crowd.
Our mission, our goal, is to extend that welcome, that warm, loving welcome, beyond the walls of this particular building.
It's a special time of year for the church as they are currently running their Christmas donation drive through Samaritan's Purse.
Operation Christmas Child is under Samaritan's Purse, and every year we have a shoebox collection where everyone is invited to pack a shoebox with toys, personal hygiene, t-shirts, school supplies.
Galbraith believes the most important objective is fixing that broken bond between the church and the new generation.
We realize that's something that's been fractured, regardless of why somebody thinks it is. We want that relationship built. We want trust both ways.
Now, music and storytelling are the basis of the services here at Calvary Hill instead of preaching at traditional places of worship. And also, if you would like to help the church in their Christmas donation, you can do that through Samaritan's Purse. Here at Calvary Hill Church in Glassboro for the Rowan Rundown, I'm Chris Devine. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue has been ground zero when it comes to exercising an American's right to protest. Among some of the more known practices are where hundreds of women and supporters gather to let their voices be heard and their rights known to President Trump.
So I am a first-year medical student at Howard University, and so healthcare is an issue that's sort of at the forefront of the nation's kind of conscience right now.
Many believe their voices can and will make a difference in the fight.
What we are doing simultaneously is fighting in the courts, fighting like this to get our voice heard, but also, voting and like all those things together will help.
The largest topic of conversation of these protests has been Congress's conservative stance on birth control.
Birth control is an integral part of women's right. I think that we believe in the huge strides that were made under the ACA providing copay-free birth control, even though 52% of men don't think that they benefit from having women's access to birth control. So we really think it's critical to get loud on this issue and to really drive home the point that copay-free birth control is good for women, it's good for men, it's good for society.
As stated, as the demonstrations like you just saw are not uncommon, as they happen almost every day out here in front of the White House, protesters say that they will continue coming out here every day until Congress takes action on what they believe is right. Reporting live out front of the White House for the Rowan Report, I'm Chris Devine. Good evening, I'm Chris Devine with your sports update. The Sixers were looking to complete their Texas two-step on Monday night. After squeaking out a win over Dallas on Saturday, could the process take down James Harden and the Rockets, who beat the Sixers in Philly on a buzzer beater last week? Let's go to the highlights. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons taking the floor at the Toyota Center, and boy, were they rolling early. Less than 2 minutes into this contest, Simmons finds Embiid all alone at the other end of the floor for the big two-handed slam. In the second quarter, Simmons with the no-look alley-oop up to Embiid, who slams it home. Sixers with the lead. Second half, Embiid takes the role of playmaker and delivers a bounce pass to Simmons, who slams it home. A few minutes after that, Embiid finds Simmons again for the easy layup. The Sixers, though, would have to fear the beard as James Harden delivered for Houston. Harden, in transition, bullies through Simmons for the bucket and the foul. He hits the floor, but he would be all right. Later on in the first quarter, Harden lobs one up for Clint Capella for the alley-oop dunk. In the second half, Harden throws on the Jets and blows by Simmons for the bucket. Harden had 29 points and 7 assists. To the fourth quarter we go now. Joel Embiid backs down Clint Capella in the paint, gives it a look, and he's able to throw up the lefty hook for the bucket. Philly up 3 with a little over 2 minutes left. Next possession, Simmons sprinting up the floor, gives a little stutter step move, and the big slam. Simmons finished the night with 24 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. The Sixers now head home to face the Atlanta Hawks on Wednesday night. And that's a look at sports. I'm Chris Devine.